York, big city of dreams. New York, big city of dreams.
What's going on? This is Jay Ellis from the Nick of Time show. Here to give you that Knicks talk just in the nick of time. And guess what, guys? It's time to finally talk about a Knicks victory. Gun shots because the Knicks beat the Clippers 116-93. The Bodman himself, Bodman Barrett, gives you 24 points, 9 rebounds, and 4 assists. Gunshots for RJ Barrett. We got Mitchell Robinson, who had a monster game as well with 12 points, 11 rebounds, 8 on the offensive end, and 2 blocks. Gunshots for Mitchell Robinson. We have Emmanuel Quickly dropping power forward stats, 21 points and 10 rebounds with 6 assists. Gunshots for Emmanuel Quickly. He's busting out. And also, the man, the myth, the legend in the making, Cam Reddish has his best game as a New York Knicks and gives you 17 points on the night. Busting in the air for Cam Reddish. The Knicks snap a 7-game losing streak. The Knicks hold this team to under 100 points and beat these Clippers in convincing fashion, finally taking home a win. And it's not even just that we won, Ryan, it's the way we won, because we won with the youth, and that's the way we want to do it. We want to win with the kids, because we was talking last game, Ryan, we was like, oh, Tibbs don't like kids, Tibbs hates children. Today, the kids played, and that's what made it fun. And no, we're going to break down the game real quick. Before we break down the day, please hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, and comment is going to help all the algorithms, help us algorithm up, and salute the KOT show and get us to another level. And shout out to the guys in the chat too, all right? Shout out to you guys in the chat. Shout out to, because y'all guys are crazy. Y'all here talking Knicks with us at 1 a.m. in the morning. So shout out to Picks for Timmy, Ellen Marshall, the best mod in the game, Fritz Alessandro, who set his alarm to make sure he made the post game today. Shout out to Civil Analytics. Everybody else is rocking with the KOT show. All right. And of course, you already know I have to introduce my guy too. It is the man, the myth, the legend, the guy with the stats and the facts.
Ryan G's in the building. Glad to see the youth them play.
The youth them.
And bring the win home. And I got some stats for y'all right quick.
Let's go.
The plus and minus of the youth lineup, that second unit that Tibbs put into the game.
Let's go.
RJ Barrett, who played with the second unit, plus 36.
Let's go.
McBride, plus 27.
Let's go.
Reddish, plus 22. Sims and Quickly, plus 15.
Loving it. Yeah, man. The youth came out to play today. The youth definitely came out to play. And it was apparent, like, there was a portion in the game, right? Because there's a lot to talk about. You know, Alec Burks did well. Yeah, we'll touch on that, but it's not fun right now, right? Mitchell Robinson's done well. It's fun talking about Mitch. But we're going to talk about him later. But I really want to talk about the youth right now because, as Raw calls the team, Mobb Deep. Mobb Deep has been struggling for a while. Since the fall of Derrick Rose, they haven't really found their rhythm. Miles McBride he's inserted into this unit because Obi Toppin is out, and also Grimes being out is allowing Cam Reddish to actually start to find a rhythm. And what you're seeing right now, and what you saw in that second quarter, was a period of time where these Knicks dominated, not only offensively but mostly defensively. We've seen this coach Ryan complain that, you know what, you guys aren't getting multiple stops. Last season, we were seeing 4 or 5 stops. This season, we struggled to even get 3 stops in a row. Today, Ryan, there was a period in the second quarter where these Knicks stopped the Clippers from scoring for about 5 minutes and 45 seconds. And the Knicks went on this crazy run, and it was the people you talked about. It was McBride. It was RJ Barrett. It was Cam Reddish. It was who am I missing right now, Ryan? It's
Sims.
Sims. and it was Sims, and it was the youth who really put it together. And then at some point, Sims went out for Mitch, and it was still rolling. And I'm just like, and I don't think it's any, I don't think it's any accident that when that unit came out, and the first unit came back in, the defense started to get a little wonky. What did you see today, Ryan? Let me know.
Well, yeah, the Knicks won the game today because that second unit was swarming defensively. It was some of the best defensive play I've seen from the Knicks all season. Guys were all over the court and Quickly. My gosh, I don't know if I've seen a better defensive effort from Quickly all year. This guy was all over the floor. He was getting over screens. He was getting rebounds and starting fast breaks.
Yeah.
Quickly was on it tonight, and I definitely got to give him a lot of props for that. And I think the fact that McBride is in the game too, that gives the Knicks a good point of attack defender right there, because McBride really shut down Reggie Jackson,
in jail,
Terrence Mann. It didn't matter who McBride was on. McBride was on him crazy, and then we added with Reddish with his length, getting to deflecting passes. And then Reddish showing his creativity on the offensive end, being able to drive to the basket, draw fouls, finish at the rim, knock down a couple of threes, definitely showing his worth. And, RJ Barrett being Batman Barrett as usual, doing, on both sides of the floor. Sims, crazy athleticism. And you can tell his defensive positioning definitely got better, because he was definitely all over the floor as well, grabbing rebounds. And it was definitely a great effort from the second unit. And this just shows that Thibs needs to trust in these kids more, because when these kids are on the floor together, they put in top effort and they're really all over the floor.
Yeah, it's a combination of stuff that seems to be working with this group. It's like, one is like Quickly his confidence has come back, and it's crazy because he's still not really the quintessential point guard. Everything is opening up to his scoring first and then passing second. But today when he's hitting his shots, it worked because he's putting so much pressure. The combination of Quickly and Barrett, it kind of reminded me of McBride and Quickly when they first started going together, where they both just kept attacking them relentlessly. It kind of reminded me of him and Derrick Rose when they both started attacking them relentlessly. Both of them, RJ and Quickly, just kept going at them, and they didn't have a second to relax on the defensive end, and it just opened up everything else on the floor. So shout out to Quickly, who found his rhythm, and didn't even just rely on floaters, but was getting to the rim at will too. And not only that, like his shot is starting to return. He shot 3 of 5 from the 3 and 60% from the field, and it's like Quickly is a guy we like, man, you this guy is a shooter, right? He hasn't missed a free throw, Ryan, since January 31st. He's the second in the NBA in free throw shooting. So you know my mantra, right? If you are good at shooting free throws, then it's usually translate into shooting. So you buy on the shot, and finally the shot brought in with him, and he was able to bring that shot with him today. So Quickly, career high 10 rebounds was phenomenal. But it was just the RJ Cam Quickly relentless attacking was something to behold. Because even there came a point in that fourth quarter, again, the Clippers were chipping away at the lead. I think they had the lead down to 11 in the fourth quarter.
Yeah.
Tom Thibodeau started to ease in that second unit to save us. And once again, Ryan, the clamps came down.
Mm-hmm.
I think at one point the lead was up to like 32 or something, and we beat this team to a pulp. And it was a combination of the defense and the scoring, and you started to see Cam Reddish come alive.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
No, I was just saying, I just want to throw in one thing, because I know we thrashed Thibs a lot, but there was a one move Thibs made in this game, and I give him a lot of credit for it, because if this was Thibs earlier this season, he would not have made this move, because he's too stubborn in his ways, as we all know. There was a time in the second quarter where the Clippers were making a run, coming back into the game, and the Clippers went small, and they had Mitch on the floor, and Mitch was forced to guard on the perimeter because the Clippers went small. And he took Mitch out the game with, like, I think about 3 minutes left in the second quarter and put in Reddish to match better with the Clippers. And then once he made that move, the Knicks were able to increase the lead back to 19 going into the halftime. So I have to give Thibs credit for that, because Thibs is a coach that he's very stubborn in his ways. And for him to make that kind of move, I was like, wow. I was shocked when I saw it.
Yeah, it makes you think, is the front office or is starting to get to him? Is he starting to open his mind to being more flexible with these rotations? Because, man, everybody's been screaming, play the kids. Tibbs hates children. All of a sudden today, the kids played, and the kids were more reliable to us. I mean, granted, Alec Burks had a good game. The first unit did okay, but it was really the kids who really brought this home, and that's what made this win so satisfying. Is the youth is what really did it. Like, Sims. We haven't even talked about Sims. Sims caught an alley where his hands reached. I feel like he reached over the square of the backboard. Like,
yeah,
Sims. Under Robinson's offensive rebounds prowess has been great. Sims had 5 offensive rebounds on the night, 11. And it's granted he only scored 4 points, but Sims has gotten better. And I know some people will say, he should have been in earlier, and that's debatable too. Maybe he should have been earlier than now, because sometimes what happens is you get into the G League, you get a rhythm, you get better with the timing. But like, I still feel like Tibbs maybe wasted his time on the bench playing Taj more minutes than he should have, when he should have been playing Sims a lot more. And now that's reaping dividends. So it's like, there's a lot of, man, Sims. Ryan, with the success of this second unit, at least today, I would have to think, I would have to hope, I would pray that common sense starts to seep in to this coach's mind and think it's time to make a change. It's time to try something different. And it's time to make some really tough decisions. Because as cool as it was seeing this second unit get it together, tough decisions seems like is on the horizon. And one of these tough decisions that seems like it might have to be made is the emergence of Cam at the 4. Cam Reddish at the 4 over Cam at the 4 mixed with McBride. When you look at that unit from top to bottom, looks like it might be our best defensive unit. We have defenders all over the floor between Cam, IQ, who's been good defensively this season, McBride, RJ, and Sims or Mitch. You have pretty much 5 defenders, right?
Yeah.
You're pretty much 5 defenders, right? So I don't think it's an accident that they went 5 minutes and 45 seconds in the second quarter without scoring, because you got 5 defenders on the floor. On top of that, you have guys who can potentially shoot in Cam and RJ and quickly. And then you have in Cam who can penetrate and finish. He can finish better than everybody. Like, that squad seems like a perfect balance, at least right now. The only time I can actually maybe see some problems if there's a bigger 4, right, who can kind of handle Cam. But that blend of talent looks like a really good blend of offensive defense from 1 to 5 if they can get it together. And I'm not even saying Cam. I'm not even saying Cam is a perfect defender because he has his faults. But it seems like even now, Cam is getting more minutes and more reps. He's getting more comfortable in our defensive schemes. He's making less and less mistakes. So even his defense is looking way better. Like, this is woo. Am I correct? Woo.
Yeah, it's definitely gonna be some tough decisions to be made, because you have to remember, Obi is out and Grimes is out, and those are 2 of the young players that need time as well. And like, we all know Thibs. I doubt Thibs is going to bench his vets to give these guys playing time. I think the more than likely outcome is going to be Grimes is going to come back. Grimes is definitely going to get playing time because Thibs seems like he trusts Grimes.
Right.
Now, I feel like with the way the lineup currently is in the second unit, I can probably see RJ getting less minutes with the second unit with Grimes back, and then Grimes just gets those minutes instead with the second unit.
True.
But not the issue is Obi, because Reddish is playing good right now. You cannot bench Reddish or lessen his minutes just because somebody else is back. So the issue is going to be now, are you going to go back to benching McBride and then give Obi those minutes and have him play with Obi, Reddish, quickly, Grimes, like, are you gonna, and Sims, like, are you gonna go with a lineup like that, or are you gonna actually like give the vets less minutes so you could try to fit McBride and Obi in there as well? And knowing Thibs, I doubt that's going to be the case, but yeah, decisions are going to be made, and I think the guy who's going to be the odd man out probably is going to be McBride once Obi and Grimes returns.
Which sucks, because the one I do like that. You know, it's funny. I want to see McBride with the ball more, but I also know that RJ running the point has helped him, especially running with the second unit, because RJ didn't start off playing well this first quarter. He started playing badly in the first quarter, or at least bad on the offensive end. And in the second quarter, he started getting going running with the second unit and kind of carried over to the second part of the game. So that's a good point, Ryan. When you Grimes back, maybe he'll be more exclusively with that second unit. But then it's like that ball handler. We quickly needs that other ball handler.
Yeah, exactly.
To rely on. If Grimes is there, it can't be Grimes. Like it definitely can't be Grimes. So I would hope it would be McBride, but I can see Coach. See, y'all about to have me call him Coach Come Over. I can see about reading the chat. I can see Tom Thibodeau. I can see Tom Thibodeau, like you said, putting McBride back on the bench and putting Obi in. But it's like, man, at this point, the way you seen the McBride defend, he actually hit a 3 today. I think you have to consider it. You have to consider a shakeup. If he's truly a coach who's open to adjustments, you have to test these lineups. And for the front office, this game today, knowing who knows if Tibbs is going to be here or not. Who knows if Tibbs is going to be here or not this summer. But if I know some people are saying he's long gone, I'm still on the belief that they might give him a half a season next season because they're boys. That's my thinking. But who knows? He could be gone in the summer. If he's gone in the summer, then none of this matters. But if they're planning on keeping him, they got to make things easier for him. And I feel like next summer might be the move to go more full on youth movement, seeing how this talent is producing right now. Like you definitely have to try to like move Fournier and get Grimes into that starting role in my mind. And I feel like that's gonna open up a lot of things. At least that moving Burks or Evan Fournier in that starting out of here. Moving Burks and Evan Fournier out of here in the summer is going to help us tremendously open up minutes for this youth movement, because it looks like we're onto something. With our struggles still happening, we are still really good, man. We still have the most amount of young talent we had in a long time, a very long time. Jeez.
Yeah, man. And I'm gonna be real about it, like, because right now, the way it looks, the Knicks have 7 talented young players. That's a lot.
It's a lot.
7 talented young players, and you're gonna have to give these guys developmental minutes. And if you're gonna develop these guys, then you have to be real with yourself. Tibbs is not the right coach for the team. And I don't know. Like, I don't know Bryant's coaching style. I don't know if Bryant would be the right guy for the job. I mean, I would think that, him being a younger coach, maybe he would, more lean on the youth and try to develop the youth rather than play the vets like this.
Mm-hmm.
But, if that's the case, like, the Knicks are going to have to make a change at coaching, because especially if the Knicks get a high pick in this upcoming draft, like they get lucky enough to get a high pick and then another good young player comes in to add to that core that Knicks already have, then you have to go developmental coach. You have to.
Ryan, I don't see any chance in hell, especially if Tibbs is here, if we get another high pick, that he plays with this team. 2 pick, I don't even know if I want another, like, unless he's like a top 4 pick, I'm not even sure if I want him getting minutes with all these youth guys here, unless he outright is that much better than the guys that are here already. I'm not even sure if I want that because we have so much talent here that we need to develop. So it might be time to package some of this stuff and move on. Like
but that's a good thing too, because say for example the Knicks draft a really good player in the draft. That's going to give you at least 8 young guys, like a core of 8 young players that are really good. You would have to think that some of these guys are going to draw interest from other teams, to where maybe you can't bring in that star player that you're eyeing, or whatever the case may be, for some of these young players, and then pair that star player with whichever young players are left over.
Right.
You know what I mean? So if you're the Knicks right now, you have to go towards development, because if you have all this young talent, I mean, it's either these guys can grow into better players, and then you can have these guys as your core to build into a better team into the future, or but coach these guys up to where they become so desirable by other teams that if there's a disgruntled superstar, you can easily make that trade,
right?
And bring that big superstar to the Knicks, and then from there you build from there. So
yeah. I mean, everybody's looking at Utah, so that's something to look at. That's definitely something to look at. But shout out to Knicks. This is a win. This is not even a meaningless win. This is not like, oh, we won, Alec Burks, This is a win because we won with the youth today. This was the best possible scenario for us fans, being up at 1 a.m. on the East Coast watching the game, because we won with Cam Reddish. We won with IQ. We won with RJ Barrett having another 20-plus game. We won with Sims out here proving that he's better than Noel. We won with the youth. All right?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
And now let's get to these super chats. So shout out to the super chats, man. First and foremost, $5 super chat. Gunshots to BKNY says, Tibbs discovered the concept of death. So proud. Hope it continues. Sell the vets. Cam Reddish is a Wizards. IQ, RJ, and Mitch are excelling again. Yeah, man. Cam Reddish's layup package is ridiculous.
Yeah. Yeah, he's nice with it.
Like, it makes you think, if this kid ever gets his shot selection together, like the catch and shoot threes there. Catch and shoot threes are there. The drives to the basket, there. I saw somebody post about moving threes. I forgot which video guy did it. He said he needs to work on his moving threes. Every time he tries to shoot a three off the move, it looks funky. So that's a nice catch from him. He has to work on that. The in-between game, that he has to work on that as well. But I've seen some in-between mid-range jump shots in the last few games. So Cam is definitely getting better. But man, when it's hard to score in crunch time, and we know we can't keep going to RJ to his left, it seems like, man, we have another option in Cam. It could be like a nice little wing 1-2 punch. RJ, go ahead, Cam, take it to the rim. Like, woo. It's looking formidable. And you got Julius Randle not touching the ball as much. His usage rate is probably going to take a nosedive. I saw another interesting stat that said RJ Barrett's usage has reached 30 the last game. And this is the highest of his career. And it seems like it's only going up for RJ Barrett and his usage rate because of decision making. So, and it's working, man. Even the game we lost, even though we lost, I still like the type of shots that we got when we played Phoenix, because it resulted in 4 ways to the basket, and it also resulted in Mitch being in position to get offensive rebounds and punish teams for having to come over and play defense on RJ Barrett. So RJ Barrett with only 2 turnovers on the night, man. So shout out to RJ Barrett, man. This is we needed this win. We needed it. Not even just the win, but the youth. We needed to see this, man. This is a Knicks Twitter win. This is a Knicks Reddit win tonight.
For real. And I just want to throw in one thing about Reddish too, man. I know the hop step was a weapon back in the day. You know, the refs they call it travel there, but refs call it travel now. Yeah. Reddish, Euro step, okay? Euro step gives you the same type of result, and it's not a travel, okay, man? You say Euro step more often.
Absolutely, man. Reddish work on that year. Work on that hop step, man. Hop that hop step out of here. Yeah. Work that out in practice, all right? But shout out to Mark Confessor Clemente, who sends a Euro super chat, €250, which I think Ends up being like $4 and something cents, I think. But Shazzy says IQ showing in the fourth quarter, never looking to pass, all about his stats. It's like poor version of ISO Zoe playing PG in terms of offense. At least ISO Zoe can break down defense without screens. He should not be the PG. Well, right now IQ is a part-time PG. He can break down bigs without screens. That's the most he can do right now. He can break down bigs without screens, and he's not a real. He's a part-time PG at this point. How many assists he had? He had some nice passes today, but like I said in the beginning, it's his scoring sets up his passing. It's not the other way around. So go ahead, Ryan.
No, I just want to throw in that, of course, after one game, I'm not convinced that, IQ can be a full-time point guard. I still believe that IQ is better off with a guy like McBride or somebody beside him who can, run the point guard duties and he can play off ball, or a guy that can give you point guard, playing in in like minutes, in like minutes, a few minute stretches. But here's my thing. I don't want to stress on the fact that IQ is he a real point guard or not. I don't want to stress on that.
I feel you.
It's just the fact that today he played good, and I liked what he did when he was at the point guard. Especially on the defensive end where he grabbed the rebounds and started fast breaks and was pushing pace and was playing good. So I'm giving IQ his props. Do I think he's the point guard of the future? No. But today, he played really well. So I don't really want the IQ slander right now. I really don't want the IQ slander.
I want to bask in this win today. IQ had a good game. I know maybe he could have passed a little bit more, but he had 6 assists. He made some nice passes, too. When he got into rhythm, he made a nice pass to Cam Reddish. He made a nice lob to Sims. So he had some good moments passing the ball. So I'm going to give IQ his props today. And I'll save the IQ slander for when he deserves it. when he deserves it a little bit. Exactly. When he deserves it a little bit more. And now on a blowout win from 116 to 93. We got 3 callers up today. Y'all crazy. Y'all crazy.
We should be sleeping.
Exactly. Yeah, what you said, we pushed the ball. Not yet. Well, IQ did good today. Was advance the ball faster than anybody else we have. He pushes the ball and advances the ball for sure. Does he always pass it to the shooters after it penetrates? No. But he's not a full-time point guard. But it is what it is. First caller up. I'm not sure where it is, but let us know what your name is and where you're from.
What's good, Jay? What's going on, everybody? It's Fat Boy from Harlem, my baby.
What's going on? What's going on, man?
I.
Not much, man. I'm morning trying to see my Knicks get a win, so it is what it is. I'm just happy everything fell through. You had to break that streak, so I'm tired of taking L's, man. I'm tired of doing it.
We all are, man.
Since finally patched through, started to watch some of these shows on YouTube, like y'all and KFTV and all that good stuff. You know what I'm saying? Finally getting some awareness on what the hell is going on with his team. We as fans watch these games, so we're going to know possession by possession, bucket by bucket, what exactly is going on with him formulating a depth roster that he already has been given. He was just too obnoxious and absurd to the fact of what was available on our team, going with veterans that he already knows what to do, but they're playing like they don't even know what to do. So what's the next step? We have to let the youth step in, because I'm thinking from the developmental standpoint now, I'm trying to see what we got for the rest of the year going into next season. Rose is out. I'm not counting him to come back this season, even if we make it to the play-in, because that infection that he had on his ankle, I just wanted to make sure that it's cleared up and he's ready to go. I want him to stay in off-season. We could re-sign him, and we could work a deal out with him. But first and foremost, Knicks is going to get that bag this year.
Oh, he's getting it.
Yeah.
If we don't re-sign him, that's going to be a problem, really, because the front office is going to have to give some answers as to why they didn't work that out.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. I agree with you, man. I kind of feel like they was already trying to give damage control early, even releasing the news that they were trying to they were negotiating all season. So that's a worrisome sign. But at the end, I'm hoping that they actually do re-sign him, and they And we can make maybe some subsequent moves to free up some space if we have to sign him, man. Because like
that's what I'm saying. As far as what Woj had reported, I think a week and a half prior in regards to Mitch's contract situation, they said that he was eligible for, I think, between a 3 to 4 year, $48 million deal, if I'm not mistaken.
Yep.
It's around those numbers.
Yeah. 4 year, 48.
I'm saying.
4
I
years.
wouldn't even be mad if he got 42 because that would have gave us like maybe $2 or $3 million as far as a player option with some cushion room for free agency if need be. That way we won't run too below the cap. We still have some wiggle room to maneuver enable certain things. But no, I mean, I'm just glad that we weren't really being observant part of one of the most illest tank jobs ever in the league that I probably would have ever seen go for in any organization. Because we were putting up enough effort. We were giving up double-digit deficits every single game. I'm looking at fourth quarters like this peril is about to stop for some reason. Like, I don't know what it was. Last game with Phoenix got me tight because Randall knew what he was doing. Going back after Cam Johnson like that was just unsportsmanlike, and that shouldn't have been going abroad at all. As
right.
a New Yorker, he has to understand.
Yep.
Hold your composure, even if you're on the road, bro.
Yep.
It's not worth the fines or you just being in the publicity and that light for them to paint you that kind of person. That's not how he is normally. I can vouch for that. Not saying that I know Julius personally, but just off of his mannerisms with him being a father and him having to actually set a prime example for somebody that wants to come up and maybe play in the league one day, he got to do a better job on being a leader of the team.
That's absolutely. That's
overall,
absolutely.
Like, he can't be going about the way things have been going. I literally give him an automatic F for his behavior. His playing, don't get me wrong. His effort, he's trying. He's cleaned up since the All-Star game. He's been averaging close to maybe 19 games. So I'll give him that kind of benefit of the doubt. But overall, he has to step up, and he has to be the player that he was last year. We need him now more than ever. If RJ's having this stellar year, the way he's playing for the last month and a half, averaging over 23 a game, I'm getting close to 38% from the three. He's starting to clean up his free throws, but percentage-wise, the team belongs to RJ right now when it's supposed to belong to Julius. Julius is the highest paid player on our roster. Stop playing, bro. You know you're one of the top 20 players in the league. Stop acting like you don't know what it's hitting for.
I'm on the change of the guard. I'm not even gonna lie, homie. I'm with you on a lot of the points, but I feel like it's time to change the guard a little bit and get Randall into a secondary more of a role. I think that's the best way to go.
And I don't even see nothing wrong with him coming off the bench late this season being sixth man, because at least he'll have a set of players rotated around him to where he'll be the number one option. It doesn't have to be that way the whole time. We can actually have multiple scorers if we have the right lineups. You can't have 2-3 people that's having droughts, then 3 out of 5 people that's in the lineup that's messing up chemistry.
I feel you.
I'm not saying that that he doesn't have the hindsight to make that calls on site, but Tibbs is wise enough to know if momentum isn't shifting our way and we're not actually getting plays off the correct way we need to, he has to understand the minute that's not going down, call a timeout. If it's available, use it. We messed up a challenge this game, losing the timeout. Thankfully, it didn't cost us in the fourth quarter. But as my head coach, I need you to have the word for understand, knowing who's on your team, actually preparing this team correctly to actually know sets.
Right. I got
how to switch out of rotations, isolating mismatches, understanding mismatches from different ends of the floor, offensive or defensively, knowing who's hot, who's not.
I agree.
Don't take out the person that's hot.
I agree. I agree.
Yeah.
I agree. Yeah.
Why you taking Mitch out? Why you taking Mitch out in the middle of the second? He had less than 3 fouls going into halftime.
I mean, it was a lineup switch for matchups, and Ryan G talked about it a little bit earlier. They went small, so we went kind of small too, and matched up, and it actually worked out for us. So I know why I get it. But thanks for calling, man. We got some other calls to get through. All great points though. I would love to have you call into the show next time. You crazy for being up at 1 a.m. with us, man. You crazy. All right, man. All right. So I mean, he has some things like he has some things to get off his chest. He feels like Randall should get back to last season. Randall, it's gonna be interesting to see if Randall's even here. I know someone. Yeah. I see some people in the chat saying he wouldn't even take a demotion well, but it just seems like it's time. We already seen how it is where Randall is the main guy. He will not going to be able to get less than 4 turnovers a game from him if his usage rate is so high. So I like the changing of guard. I think we need to transition to a more traditional wing point guard run offense. What do you think?
Yeah, I also think that I think Randall's time with the Knicks is winding down right now because besides everything that transpired this season, the young players are showing out. And I think if you're the Knicks right now and you look at the team and you're like, okay, where are we right now? Are we near being a contender? No. So why not concentrate on development? And if you're going to concentrate on development, I feel like players such as Randall, Fournier, etc., you have to somehow trade them and see what you can get for them or whatever the case may be, and then concentrate more on the youth development. Because right now the Knicks are nowhere near a championship squad. It's not like, okay, we have all these vets and we're near, so let's continue to build. Like,
yeah, we're battling for play.
Yeah, exactly. Like
battling for a play.
Exactly. So So I think at this point it's like you have to become a developmental team and develop the youth. And like I said, you develop the youth, and as long as you control the cap in your favor, you can possibly flip that youth for a big name player in the future who's even better than Julius Randle, and then then you can build around that big name player. And yeah, that's my thoughts about it. I think Julius Randle's time is up, and he's not a top 20 player. I'm sorry, my guy. He's not a top 20 player in the NBA. I'm sorry.
He's not. Yeah, he's a really good player. In certain roles, leadership role, he's too emotional to be a leader. That's for sure. But he's a really good player in a certain role, and he might have found like maybe a little bit more of a niche playing here with the Knicks. But maybe he can lead a second unit. Maybe he can be a second or third option. Him being a number one option, I don't know. I don't know about that. If he's able to, like somebody would say, if he's able to take a demotion well, then maybe it might be worth it. Who knows? But that's really barring his attitude is fixed, because his attitude is really the biggest problem, it seems to be. But who knows? If he's moved on from, if we package him for, let's say, a Donovan or something, I'll be fine. I don't care. I'll be all right with it. I'll be fine. But next caller up, we got Reaper.
Hey, what's up, guys? Good evening. Thank you guys for taking my call. Yeah, the last call, I'm not sure what he was talking about. It was like, look, I mean, Julius had a hell of a season last year. It's like, he put up some really unbelievable stats. So it wasn't a lot of people. It was pretty much, I think, the stats he put up, it might have been him, Joker. I'm not sure if there was anyone else that was putting up that kind of stat. Although Joker was way more efficient.
Right.
So that's what separated, obviously, players like Joker from Julius Randle. But, the stats he was putting up was like, honestly, you got to give it to him as no joke. Even the stats he puts up this year just shows the kind of talent he does have. He's a head case. He doesn't, just a low IQ ball player. That's just what it comes out to, And it's unfortunate because he could be a very special player if if his mind was right. But, that's not really what today's call is about. But I'm just happy, they won playing the kids, which was really good. And, the one thing is like, it's, playing McBride. I mean, it's like, it's such a no-brainer because if he really wants, fine, you can start quickly and just have McBride coming off the bench. But I guess, obviously it's nice the chemistry they have with the bench unit that they had today on the offensive end and also on the defense. Just McBride just gives you a better defender at that point of attack. And so it was just a no-brainer. And, glad, I guess, we all should be happy he finally did it. I don't know if he was doing us all a favor. But, it's just crazy. It's like the fan base, everyone just saw this. Everyone thought actually once the once the All-Star game was over, that's what we were going to see, right? Changes are going to be made, and we're going to focus on the youth. And, he still didn't do it. And honestly, today, it felt like these guys got the extended minutes because it was a blowout, and they were able to basically extend the lead or maintain that lead.
Right.
Because, if it was a closer game, would he have done that, or would he have just had McBride look at it? Or would he have had McBride play 10 minutes?
In reality, though, like I feel like, man, if it was the second unit's doing that league got as big as it did. That's why that league got as big as it did in the second quarter, and that's why that league got as big as it did in the fourth quarter. I think you had to be a fool to. You had to be a fool to not see the correlation between the type of defense that was being played and how big that lead was. Like I couldn't even see it. So
honestly, Jay Ellis, like I agree with you, but honestly, aside from today, you could see this like over a month ago. I mean, like when they had issues, you start seeing they had issues. Like obviously, we've had issues like stopping people at the point of attack the whole year.
Yeah.
And he tried Burks, and Burks wasn't working, and else failing miserably. I mean, like over a month ago, back in early January, it was a no-brainer to like just, if you want to start quickly, fine, and just put McBride as the second unit. You just need some defense at the point of attack. It doesn't matter if the offense is not that great, because the way he's running the offense anyway is like quickly, or McBride just has to dribble the ball down the court and hand it off to Julius or RJ. So if that's all they got to do, why the hell are you playing Burks?
I
at
don't
the
get
point
it.
guard position.
Yeah, because
it was a no-brainer.
Because he could switch,
but
he's still too slow to guard faster guards, so it doesn't even matter that he can switch because he's just blowing by him anyway.
Exactly. Burks still can't defend.
I agree. And it was just a no-brainer. It was too big. And so what I think is like what we've been saying the whole time is like he's just stubborn, because he just didn't want to do it.
Right.
And it's like, and it's just crazy. And to me, I think it's just crazy. And that's why, honestly, I don't even think he needs to be the coach for this team. He's just way too stubborn, and he thinks, it's his way or the highway. I mean, it's just one of many issues I have with him, so I'm not even trying to like relitigate all that stuff.
I feel you. I feel you, man.
I'm just really happy we got a chance to see kind of like some of what we have, because honestly, there's a lot of talent on this team, especially with like
a lot.
They just need someone to just work with these guys, and a lot of them have they're all hard workers. It seems like, or they have their heads screwed on straight. Especially freaking why am I forgetting this kid? Cam Reddish. I mean, like man. I mean, all this kid needs, he just needs somebody to spend a couple of summers with him. He needs a lot of work, but man, this kid is really talented.
He really is, man.
It's just unbelievable. And to tell you the truth, I think I said this one time a long time ago, is like when you have these young players that come into the league and they end up being bust, like you got the Dennis Smith Juniors of the world and stuff like that. In my opinion, a lot of times I don't really think is really the players that much. Because if you think about it, Dennis Smith Jr. and some of these guys, some of these kids that come in, it's not like you have a RJ Barrett. You got the basketball pedigree, and you got people behind you showing you what you need to be doing and how it needs to be done.
You need a backing and
all those kids are not all like that.
Yeah.
You need a proper team to kind of bring you up. And you're telling me like whose fault it is? Is it? So like you're asking me between the kid who's 19 years old or 20 years old, who's dedicated his whole life since he was like 7 years old, very disciplined at his craft. And then, he makes it to the NBA, then he flames out. Is it his fault, or is it like, the GM who kind of maybe got the job because he knew someone? I mean, like these kids, I think sometimes like, people just kind of like, they forget. I think they kind of like put too much blame on the kids a lot. And it's like these kids, they need a lot of help. And if you don't have the good organization, it's just not going to work because there's nobody showing them how to do it.
Absolutely.
You're 19 years old.
Yeah, I agree.
When I was 20 years old or 21,
yeah.
I mean, like, I was like,
Yeah.
I didn't know a dang thing when I was 21 years old, you know.
Yeah.
So it is what it is. I'm just happy they won. We got a chance to see, like, you know, some glimmer of hope. And if Thibodeau wants to stay, then, you know, they need to get rid of all these older players, and he needs to play these kids
Facts.
and bring them up right. And, you know, if not, honestly, to tell you the truth, given everything that's going on, they're not going to let this front office pick a second coach. If they bring Tibbs back, I know what games they might be trying to play. I don't think I don't think they let them pick a second coach if they get rid of Tibbs midway second season. They got too many moves that essentially it kind of like expires, right?
Bring back Woodson.
If you don't have like all the information you need to make a decision by the beginning of next season, it's like Obi is one of them. You got Cam Reddish is definitely another one. That's like a hot one. I mean, there's just so much. And then we forget McBride. McBride is only signed a 3-year contract, so you have to make sure you have all the information about McBride by even mid next season.
Yeah.
So it's like there's just way too many moves that basically go stale and go bad. And like if they try to pull that move, I think Dolan cleans house. If they try to basically play the move like, oh, like, you know, well, okay, we're wrong. It's our first coach, so we need to get rid of him mid-season. I don't think that's going to fly. I think they clean house if they screw this up, because there's just going to be way too many things that fall apart, and Dolan is not going to go for it. That's just what I think, man.
All
But
right, that's a hell of a theory. Salute to you, salute to you, Reaper, man. Thanks for calling. Y'all all crazy watching this at 1 a.m. But I guess when the Knicks win with the kids, everybody is up because we got mad people in this chat today.
For real.
I mean, mad people for 1 a.m. anyway. Salute to you, Reaper. Yo, what do you think about that, man? He thinks that if Tom Thibodeau was gone, that Dolan's gonna clean house. I'm not sure if I would agree with that. What do you think, though?
I think I can't see either. I feel like Dolan's gonna give Leon Rose and World Wide West. I think he's gonna give those guys a chance to at least make it right at least once.
Yeah, me too.
You know, yes. So I think even if Thibs fails and they end up firing Thibs and they replace, you know, him as the head coach, I feel like, you know, Dolan's going to give them one more chance to try to make it right. Now, say, for example, they hired the next coach, and that coach is still not the right coach for the team, and they're still bringing in the wrong free agents and things of that nature, then I can see Dolan be like, you know what, this is not working now, let me clear house.
Got you. Yeah, all right. And shout out to World Wide West, too, all right?
Shout out to World Wide
Yeah,
West.
World Wide
Everywhere we go, we leave a worldwide mess.
All right, it's a mess out here, even though we just won today. I just want to hit that button,
Yes.
all right?
Yes, sir.
But, yo, shout out to the chat room. We got 2 more callers in. I'm going to take these 2, and then we got to – it's late, so I need to sleep. But shout out to Kim Lowe. Shout out to Dark Matter. Fritz Alexander, Sangford 929, Lex Malik, picks for Timmy. Everybody else is rocking with the KOT show, 1777 memorabilia. Everybody, man, if you're down for the KOT show, please hit the like button, subscribe button, and comment as well, especially after the show. It's going to help the algorithms be kind to you guys, all right? So please do that. And catch us after every post game. We here talking Knicks, and we're going to be back. Knicks Kings coming up next. Hopefully we win that game, too, with the youth, all right? Next caller up, we got RJ from Jersey. What's going on, RJ from Jersey?
Hey, guys, what's happening?
What's going on, man? Nice to hear you.
Hey, man.
Yeah, man, I liked what I saw tonight, man. I think, you know, I'm hoping this is going to give Tibbs a bit of a wake-up call. I mean, you love the way RJ played. I counted at least 3 or 4 times where RJ grabbed the rebound and went coast to coast, finished left.
Yeah.
You had Jericho, you know, grabbing 11 boards in 19 minutes, and the kids played well. And, you know, like we were talking about earlier, it's hard to see this happening if Tibbs is still around next year.
Yeah.
Because obviously he's got, you know, I understand he wants to win no matter what, and he's going to play his veterans. But it's like, it's so hard to, like, you have to get him as little veterans as possible in the summer.
Right.
I feel like you have to get him an offensive, like, get him an offensive coordinator so he can have some type of playbook. And just so much has to happen for it to the work, you know, in the favor of player development and stuff. And I just don't know. I don't know, man, because, you know, he runs a lot of it. Even with Johnny Bryant, who's known as an offensive he ran that high West Coast offense under Quinn Snyder. He doesn't have much say because it's Tibbs' offense. You could see it.
Right.
So I don't know. I don't exactly know how that's going to work. I know they might give him half the year because he might have earned it with last year and all. But I just hope we continue to see these kids get runs at least in the final whatever games of the season because I loved what I saw. I think Cam Reddish, we were talking about last game, he looked good, but he didn't play in the closing lineup. And tonight, he goes out there, he gets 25 minutes, and he showed what he can do.
Yeah.
The kid looks good. He looks like I hate comparing, but he does look like he's got that Paul George physical tool set, right?
Mm-hmm.
A little T-Mac in him maybe. And I think he's a really good wing to have on this team next to RJ. And I just like the way they played, and I hope that it continues to go forward. I just don't know. It's really hard with Tibbs here. So thanks for taking the call, guys. I'm going to go get some sleep.
Yeah, man. I agree.
All right, guys.
All right, man. Man. And it's funny, too, because there's a video going around where Mark Berman was talking about that Tibbs coaches differently, right? Shout out to, I think it's Knicks Buzz. Who interviewed Berman and said that Tibbs controls the offense and defense. He doesn't rely on his assistant coaches to kind of help him call plays or aid in like assisting in the decision making. So like he kind of all runs through him a lot of the times, and that's a lot of reasons probably why our offense doesn't look as diverse as other offenses because he doesn't really have input from other people. So even the idea of adding an offensive coordinator seems like it might be a waste of time for us because Tibbs has to actually use him, and I'm not sure he's for that.
Yeah, and coaches that run a dictatorship, I'm not too fond of because, okay, like, even if you're a great coach and you know your basketball, there are guys on your assistant staff. At least you should surround yourself with guys who are more knowledgeable than you in your weak areas.
Exactly.
So if you're Tibbs and you know you're a defensive coach, like, yeah, you should be the one handling the defense, but then, yeah, you should hire a guy on your staff that's going to help you with the offense since you're not too great in that area. And I think what really defines a great coach is somebody that knows how to take criticism from the other people on his staff and then use that information to try to be better as a coach.
I agree.
It's never a good thing when a coach just takes over everything and does not consult his staff on what he can do better or what do you think that you can implement that will help the team to, be better offensively, be better defensively, whatever the case may be. So if it's true that Tibbs is a coach that he doesn't even consult his assistants,
that's crazy.
To me, that's a negative sign right there.
That's not even just coaching. That's just in life. That's with KOT.
Yeah, exactly.
That's with starting a business. That's with any group situation you want. If you want to have the ideas of people around you to kind of elevate stuff to the next level and kind of catch blind spots. Because let's be honest, everybody has a blind spot.
Yeah,
everybody has a blind spot. So hopefully I don't. At this point, it just seems like he's set in his way. So I'm kind of with you, Ryan. It's looking really crazy. It's every time we talk, I'm like, man, I don't even know about this coach, man. I don't know. Y'all beating me into submission with this get rid of Tibbs thing. Next caller up, last caller on the night before we all go to bed. I'm not sure who's next, but let us know what your name is, where you're from, and what do you want to talk about.
Actually, I think the last caller left, but I can take the last call.
Okay, cool. Last call was like, it's too late. I'm going to bed. I feel you.
Yeah, actually, I wanted to throw a scenario by you. So I think pretty much everybody says that Tibbs won't get fired by the end of the year, just not to burn bridges. It's a whole CAA family type thing. But what if the Knicks kind of flipped it and just made Johnny Bryant the coach for the last few games and put Tibbs on the bench for a couple games?
That is no way.
He's going to transition transition Brian into the position.
That's like having Randall off the bench. Like that's not happening. Like
I mean, a lot of people do it. If they're gonna give you all 5 years of your paycheck, you might have to.
The Mo Tibbs, the video game coach. The Mo Tibbs, the videotape coach. Is that what you're trying to say?
I mean,
I don't know.
I don't. I mean, I know the Celtics kind of did with Brad Stevens, where it's like, you know, they pretty much relieved Brad Stevens of coaching duties, but they moved him up to the front office. But I don't know if this is gonna accept being an assistant coach.
He damn sure can't be in the front office. We saw what he did to Timberwolves.
Like, say, we're just transitioning. Like, we're transitioning. It's always supposed to happen this way. Like, you know, this happens like in business all the time.
Not.
Yeah.
He's too big of a name, coach. There's no way. There's no way that would happen. I just can't see it.
Okay. No, because I'm just thinking because of the egos. Sometimes they can't. Some people can't handle that. But
you're right.
Yeah.
Yeah, I just can't see. Yeah, I just can't see Tibbs returning. I can't see it.
Well, I know it. Never say never. Never say never. I can see like.
No, because I think you just have to handle him too much. It's like at this point, there's too much work involved, and he just needs to be handled so much that it's like, hey, you know, you need a new coach, but at that point, you're just trying to save face. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I agree. I mean, I agree that he's a lot to handle. I agree that he needs a lot of particular things, and he has to be open to doing that. I'm not sure if he is open, because if he is open to expanding himself a little bit more, then it might be easier. But I'm not sure if he really is. So I gotta agree with you, man. I agree with you, man. And what makes it harder? What really makes it harder is we have to make faster decisions, otherwise we lose assets. That's what really makes it harder, especially on Cam Reddish, guys like Sims, and like we have to make faster decisions on this youth. And the way that Tom, uses his lineup, you're not sure if we can. And today was a great example. Like hopefully, I'm hoping for an act of God right now. Hopefully, he saw what we did today, where we had a whole 5 youth lineup, did their thing, and I hope he takes this information and uses this going forward, and not even think it, because he might not even think of it as, we trying to make the play-in. If you're trying to make the play-in at this point, maybe those 5 youths that played today together at the same time in that second unit, maybe that might be the youth that might be most likely to help us get in the play-in. Like that. Maybe if that's what Tibbs trying to do, and that's a win-win for for everybody, right? We get in the play-in, and the youth gets their minutes. I mean, not for people who want Ivy, I guess, but if we make the play-in, and we make the play-in because we play our youth, I think most people wouldn't groan at that, because at least it's like, all right, the youth are getting the experience. That's the way I see it, anyway.
Yeah.
All right, man. Thanks for calling in, Fritz.
Yes, man. Thank you. And read the super chat we just got right now.
All right. Gunshots in the air. Shout out to Silver Analytics Knicks fan. Since a $10 super chat says, "Oh man, Fritz, that's an excellent idea. This way, if he quits, Dolan won't have to pay. Dolan won't have to pay."
Oh man,
that's funny. So y'all over here thinking about severance pay options if we demote Tibbs to videotape coach. All right, yeah, okay. Y'all thinking in 3D now. Y'all thinking in metaverse language. Y'all not even thinking about playing checkers. All right, I see ya. This is metaverse chess y'all playing. I see you guys. All right. Yo, thanks for calling, Fritz. Man, great game. Shout out to Cam. Shout out to Quickly. Shout out to the second unit. Shout out to Sims. Oh man. Hopefully next game tomorrow we'll see what's running back, man. Running back. Sir. And like I said before, hit that like, hit the subscribe, and comment if you like the show. We go live after every game, and we're crazy enough to go live after the games, even on West Coast trips. We're nuts. All right.
Yeah.
Because I got work in the morning.
2 in the morning, and we still rocking with y'all.
And I got work in the morning. All right. Let's end this thing, man. Ryan G, where can they find you, sir?
can find me on Instagram at Sir G is chillin'.
Sir G is chillin'.
That's SIR. G is CHILLIN. You can also find me on Sir G's Corner where I post videos talking about Knicks and other sports. I'm on a little hiatus right now because I'm extra busy, but once the busyness clears up, I'll be back to posting videos. You can also find me on Twitter at RyanGKOT.
All right, you can also find your boy. You can find us at the KOT Show on Twitter, the Knick of Time Show on Instagram, and on Facebook as well. And like I always say, man, I've been promoting this. We had Tommy Beer here earlier. I'm gonna keep promoting this. If I see every time I promote it, somebody tag somebody else. Like, listen, just keep tagging people. I ask you guys, what NY media person do you want us to interview? There is a post in the community post that has a video with Tommy Beer on it, and you'll see I ask that question, like, who should we interview next? Tag your person on Knick's Twitter who you want us to interview next, and it's gonna help us.
Tag Monica.
Definitely tag Monica. McNutt. But tag Monica. We going. I seen some Monicas. I see some Alan Bahns. I see some Ian Begleys. I see some Mark Bermans. Those are the highest ones I've seen so far. But tag some of those guys and help us get them here, especially Monica, because Monica doesn't follow us. All right. So, but thank you guys for watching. Next game up will be tomorrow. And yep, that is it. Shout out to the chat as well. Best chat in the game. And that is our show. So and you know what?
Shout out the World Wide West. Everywhere we go, we leave a worldwide mess.
It's a mess out here. All right, that is our show.
Not tonight, though.
Not tonight. Not tonight. It's a mess for the Clippers, but not for us tonight. All right.
Yes, sir.
That is our show. We are out of here.
Peace.
Thank you for using Blog Talk Radio. Goodbye.